Have you ever wanted to sit down with musicians and pick their brains? Ask questions like, how did you get your start? What keeps you motivated to create and play? What do you do outside of music that inspires you? Or what advice do you have for aspiring musicians? If you want the answers to those questions from a plethora of musicians and other creatives, listen to the podcast Extra Musical, hosted by me, Stephen Philip Harvey. Every Monday, we sit down with a new musician to ask them these questions in an open-ended conversation, and you'd be surprised where it leads. Extra Musical airs on your preferred podcast provider.
Hi, I'm Daniel Peck, and welcome to Live at the Bop Stop. Michigan-based pianist Matthew Freese is a joyful voice on the piano with a unique and recognizable style that's authentically rooted in the tradition of the classic jazz pianists while still looking forward to the future of the music and the instrument. As a composer and leader, he's performed his own music extensively, recording 10 albums of mostly original compositions. His music has been described as playful and hopeful, introspective, full of joy and wonderment, and awash with tonal colors. But it's his deeply swinging piano style and collaborative spirit that have also made him an in-demand sideman for both instrumentalists and vocalists, as you'll hear here. Featuring Matthew Freese on piano, Carlo DeRosa on bass, and Keith Hall on drums, it's the Matthew Freese Trio, live at the Bop Stop.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if you noticed, partway through, I reached over to kind of gently lower my stool just a little bit, and it went, oh. It's like a trick stool. It's kind of cool. I was thinking to myself, we played last night in Toledo, and the piano there had like a really low bench, and I'm not a very tall guy, and so when you're like altitude challenged like I am, bench needs to be a little bit higher, and so I was kind of like playing like this for so much. I was like, wow, I'm really high on this bench. Maybe I'll lower it just a little bit. And so, anyway, Didn't hurt the music too much, I hope. So that one was entitled The Fog. A lot of the music on this new recording, I composed it during 2020, and I think you all kind of remember what was happening in the world back then. There was this thing called the pandemic. Maybe, yeah, anyway. So a lot of the songs that I wrote kind of revolve around that, and that one's kind of like, The Fog. It's dark and scary, but really the title comes from, we all had to wear masks, and, if you also are trying to wear glasses at the same time. This thing, right? Yeah. So that's The Fog. I wish it were a little more interesting than that, but at least. So, but we're going to continue with another tune from this record. This one I call Continuum. I kind of wrote it specifically trying to capture some of the feeling that was happening at that point, where we were all kind of staying home and on Zoom meetings where you didn't even have to wear pants on the bottom half of your body the whole time. And things were kind of weird. It's like, what day is today? I don't know. I don't have to go to work, so it all feels the same. And the beginning and the end, they kind of blur together. So I kind of tried to borrow a little of that sensation for this one. In a way, it feels very, the phrases are all the right length and stuff, so it feels very common, but like the way the harmony and things shift underneath it are a little bit sideways. It makes it a little challenging, more fun for us too, I think. So that's kind of what this is about. And this is called Continuum, and it's going to feature, let me introduce these guys to you. This tune is going to feature a really, no pressure, this is going to be a really great bass solo on this one, Carlo. This is Carlo DeRosa on the bass, ladies and gentlemen. And over there, longtime friend of mine, I've known this guy for, I feel like, most of my life. That's Keith Hall over there on the drums. And this is Continuum.
You're listening to the Matthew Freeze Trio, live at the Bop Stop.
I know you want to see your music, but it'd be nice to see Keith too. Sorry, we were just having a little discussion up here. Hey, you guys are great. I know it's like Brian said you're a bunch of first timers here, but like you're like a jazz audience or something. You know, you're clapping at solos, you're enthusiastic, you're being cool. You're kind of catching the hip stuff. So appreciate you very much. This is really, really fun for us, and what a beautiful club. So that tune we just played was I Wish I Wrote It. It was written by a good friend, a hero, and a mentor of mine. Helped me out so much when I first moved to New York. A guy by the name of James Williams, who passed away way too young. But it was his birthday 2 days ago, and so I wanted to pull out a few of his tunes. Plus, it's such a great tune, right? He wrote that one for a couple of his nephews, and actually, it's kind of good. My aunt is here tonight. I haven't seen her in a long time, so it's a song for me. Aunt Lou, yes. No, so he wrote that for his nephew. Coincidentally, one of his nephews was the great Tony Reedus, one of my favorite drummers of recent times, and got to play with him a lot in New York too. So two amazing musicians in one family. But he was very creative with the titles, and he called that tune "For My Nephews." So that theme's going to come back later in the set. You're going to see. That's something I learned from him as well. I've got a very clever title for one of my tunes later. So we're going to continue with I've been obsessed with this tune recently. It's by a wonderful Brazilian guitarist and singer named, and I'm going to mess up the Portuguese pronunciation, João Bosco. Looks like João Bosco, but I don't think that's how they say it in Brazil. Not that I've been there, but anyway, this is a great tune. This is a great tune that translates basically to Amazon women, and hope you enjoy. João Bosco. Go check that out. If you don't know that name, he's a really cool Brazilian guitarist and singer. I just let you in on a secret. No, I mean I did, but there's a lot of secrets I could let you in on. We're going to continue with another tune off of my new record, Back to Me. This is this is a. You remember that thing when that first time when a friend of yours called you up back in 2020 and said, "Guess what? I'm sick, and you and I were hanging out last weekend, and you now have to stay home for 2 weeks and not see anybody." And so that's what this song is about. So actually, what happened was the first time that happened to me, where somebody locked me up. There was another friend of mine who was in the same situation. We were at the same party, and he's a musician as well. And he's like, "Hey, we should do something useful with our time at home, and we should each write songs." So he wrote something, and I wrote this. It's kind of an upbeat, perky tune. So maybe my time at home in quarantine wasn't quite as bad. And I creatively call this tune Quarantine. Keith Hall over there on the drums, ladies and gentlemen. And while you're at it, this is Carlo DeRosa on the bass. We're going to play one more for you this set and then allow you to refill your nonprofit organizations supporting cocktails. I love that. I love the idea that, that my drinking can go to something good. Doesn't always work out that way. But in this case, it's great. So I encourage you to go back and talk to the bar. Was it Pam? Is that? I haven't met you yet, so I'm going to meet you later. So we're going to play one more. This is a blues that I wrote in the month of June. So in following my mentor James Williams, I named this tune June Blues. I do have CDs, LPs. I don't have CDs. I have LPs with me tonight, so you can see me at the end, and I've got a mailing list and stuff. We'll talk about that later. But I just wanted to plant that seed so you don't spend too much money on your cocktail. You save a little bit to take some music home with you as well. This is a blues for you, June Blues. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for being such an awesome audience. Keith Hall, Carlo DeRosa, Matthew Fries. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Don't go away.
Live at the Bop Stop is made possible by the Music Settlement, serving Northeast Ohio by offering music instruction, music therapy, and early childhood education since 1912. The Music Settlement's mission is to welcome all to our music and arts community to learn, create, inspire, and heal. This program is recorded at the Robert Conrad Studios at the Bop Stop in Cleveland, Ohio. Additional production at the Bop Stop is provided by Graham Rosen. Technical editing for the program is provided by Dr. Pete Nagley, Sean Gilbert, and Darren Thompson through Gilazar Media. The executive producer and writer is Daniel Peck, with additional consulting production on behalf of the Music Settlement by Brian Kennard. For extended versions of all of our shows, our Live at the Bop Stop podcast can be found on your favorite podcast app or visit our website at www.themusicsettlement.org and click on the Live at the Bop Stop radio show link. To reach out directly, email live@thebopstop@gmail.com. I'm Daniel Peck. Join me again next time, live at the Bop Stop.